It's late July here in Kentucky, getting close to deer season. Our season comes in early, comes in the first part of September. Getting a lot of questions from different people about how I do my setup. I typically do a hybrid style run and gun tree saddle with a 0.5 lone wolf tree stand or with a lone wolf platform. But I have really settled on these sticks and love these sticks. These are the lone wolf climbing sticks, and these are just the single step. I've not tried the double step one, but I've really loved these single step and just kind of stuck with it over the past year or so, and it's just become just super smooth, super efficient for me. And so I've always been a buckle guy until last year, and these are the buckles that come with the lone wolf. You can kind of see that right there, and you can kind of see I took the silent strip stuff that you can get from lone wolf and got that on there, super quiet, but still you've got that buckle. I was always a buckle guy because I was always afraid of basically trying anything different, and the buckles were working for me. You do add a little weight, not much weight, but you do add some weight. The buckles are convenient, but there is that issue of when you're tossing it around the tree to bring that buckle around, you may hit some things. And from the road noise, I don't know if you can hear or not, but you can hear this. It's pretty silent, but you can still hear that if you toss that around the tree, it's gonna click and make that noise. I don't want any kind of noise at all if I can help it. But the buckles are great. They're still a good tool. It's just that I've switched to do a rope mod. And the rope mods, you can kind of see in my pocket here, I typically wear some sort of pants that has pockets on the side, and I typically only use 2 sticks, sometimes 3, depending on if I know where I'm going to go or not. Typically the public land where I hunt here in Kentucky, it is very small trees, like the trees behind me, and cover is pretty low, so I don't really have to get all that high, 12 feet, 14 feet maybe. And with these sticks, 2 of these and the 8ers, I can get plenty high enough where I need to be. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of show how I set these sticks up with the rope mod. Now, with the rope, pretty simple. I've got a hair tie here. I took one of my wife's hair ties. You get a box of them or a thing of them for like a couple dollars, for probably 15, 20, 50 of them maybe was in this one. But anyway, I take that, I just put it around this loop here so I can have that band so I can roll up my cord, and then I can just put all the rope right here. It's nice and neat, nice and snug. I can stow it away. Typically I have it in my backpack or in a side pocket. Now once I get to where I'm going to go, I will set my backpack down, get what I need out of it, put it back on me before I do the ascent, and then I'll take these. If I'm using only 2 sticks, I'll take 2 of these, or typically I just take 1, and I'll stick it in my side pocket here so I can reach and get it at my convenience. So let's take a look first of how I put this step on the tree with that rope mod. So now that we're here at the tree, we've selected our spot, selected our tree that we wanted. I'll take my lone wolf climbing stick. I'll place it on the tree. Now typically my first one is going to be roughly the top step about my chest. That gives me everything perfect that I need for my steps and for my 8er. So now you can see that I've got the step basically where I want it. Now I'm going to take my rope with my rope mod. I'm going to hold the step here. The band, like I showed you, stays on that. And I'm going to take the loop, put it around the peg. I will toss it around the tree. Note that one thing that I like about these ropes and rope mods is you can make them longer. Typically you'll find a tree you want to be in, and some of these straps will be a little too short. So I've made my rope mods a little bit longer than what the straps were, so I can get around those bigger trees. It's got a bigger base in case I hunt one of those trees. But I will bring this around. We'll do a close-up on this, but I'll bring this around and I'll snug it up. That cinches it up. There's no need to do anything else to this rope mod. No need to do anything else to this knot. It would actually set right there. So you make it as tight as you want, you put it on, you set it, you pull that, it's not going to go anywhere. So I'm going to get it about this height for me. I'm going to pull it tight. I'm going to bring that underneath the loop, bring it around. I'm going to apply pressure, let it eat into the tree. That's not going anywhere. Then I'll typically take, just to snug it up, I'll make a loop over here, loop it just so it doesn't go anywhere, pull that tight. You can drop that down in there so it's not flopping around, blowing in the wind, scaring any deer. And then as you can see, I'll have my harness on, my saddle on, and I'll have the lineman's rope, which will go around the tree, and then I'll start to make my ascent up the tree using my aider. Perfect height. Step up, next step, and then up, next step. Gets me good and high here. I'll be just that high, if not a little higher, for the next step, and then I'll place the stand. Perfect stand placement, perfect height for a lot of these trees like this, and a lot of places which I hunt on public, which looks a lot like this. Thick areas with different fields on the edge. So let's do a close-up of this rope, how we tie it on. So this here's the rope mod. Once I'm done, I'll pull this rope loose. I've got this little knot started just to cinch it there, keep anything from sliding. Undo it, lift up the pressure, just like you would with anything, just like you would with typical cam or any other kind of buckle or any other kind of strap like that, and you just loosen it up and you're good to go. Easy part is, now that you've got this loose, you can stow your stick ready for carrying, or your stick, and then you can take your rope, nice and simple, just fold it up, and you're ready to stow it away for the walk out of there. So take that band and toss that right around the rope, just like that. Do a little neater if you wanted to. Right there you go, everything's nice and snug, and that can go right back into your pocket. So close up on how we're putting this up. So I've got my stick, and I'm placing it around the tree. I get it to where I want it. I'll take my loop, I'll place it on the peg like so. I'll bring it around the tree, using my body to hold the stick there. I'm going to bring this rope and bring it under, bringing it underneath that loop there, cinching it underneath that loop. As you can see, I just cinched it right there, right back. And then you apply the pressure, and it's not going anywhere. And then you can do whatever you want to at this end. Like I said, typically I'll bring this over, I'll make a loop out of it, just around the other rope, just to kind of get it out of the way and to keep that rope from moving anywhere. And I'll take the excess and I'll drop it right down the middle here, so it's out of my way, it's not blowing in the wind, not spooking any deer. And it is tight, it's on there, it's not going anywhere, and it's super quiet. So if you toss that thing around the tree to catch it, it's easy to catch, and there's no chance of any type of noise of the buckle clinging or anything like that. And that is my go-to system. That's my go-to setup for using my sticks. And typically I don't have a stationary or a setup that's always there. I've got one or two maybe on private that I'll have set up, but typically I am going in, because I get to hunt mostly evenings because of the way my work schedule is. I'll go in and I'll find my spot or go to my spot and I'll set up, and typically with 2 sticks, setting the tree stand up and setting the camera up, 7 to 8 minutes I'm from the base of the tree ready to hunt, just with this setup. And the main thing is being efficient, being quick, having your system. Get a system that works for you. The main thing is get it figured out, get it down to an art, do it quick, do it quiet. So that's what I typically use. I may have one or two, setups that's there for basically all season, and a couple spots on private. But typically I'm hunting public, or I'm hunting permission private, and I'm packing in, packing out. This is super quick, super light, super quiet, and that is the way that I run my steps and run my setup to get my saddle, get into my platform or my saddle, or to get into my stand that I'm taking with me.